Yeah. You know what it is, man. We a little late today, but it's all good. Good things come to those who wait. Now that you're waiting, here goes some good things. Let's get it. Yeah. You know what it is, man. It is your boy, Big Brandon Carter. Welcome to another episode of Victory Talk. I am your host, Brandon Carter, King Keto, Gymnasium Jesus. And I'm joined by my co-host, the big homie, the co-host / producer.
Let's go. Super excited.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, my girl, man, she's not here today, man. She's busy doing something, you know. Saying, but she's always in our heart. She's always in my heart. She's always in my heart. You know what I'm saying? She's always on my mind, you know. She usually do the super chat. So now Neima's gonna be kicking you out and reading your super chat.
Be careful.
Yeah, nah, man. Listen. Y'all know he's from the Middle East, man. Grew up. He's all about warfare, man. Ever since the Crusades, you know what I'm saying? Ain't never been peace over there since you know. So he's ready to go to war with y'all in the comments. If y'all act crazy, don't do it. Don't get the brother started. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot I want to talk about today. But first, we got some sponsors. We got a word from our sponsor. So the first sponsor, let me bring it up. Oh. The first sponsor is the newsletter, Big Money Method. Oh, it's not up yet. Why does it always take so long? It's only on this computer. Yeah, man. Listen, this is why most people don't do this shit live. All right, I'm over here having technical issues. Other guys can't do it wrong. We're going to skip that sponsor. All right. This episode of Victory Talk, episode 141, is sponsored by Thot Repellent. Thot Repellent is the easy to apply spray that keeps the hoes away. Right? Listen, guys. If you're one of these guys talking about how do I get girls? This ain't for you. All right, this ain't for you. This is for people who really start balling and shot calling, right? That's why you got to join our Discord so you can like really learn how to get your money, your muscle, and your mindset right. It's free, right? Because once you get those things together, the girl you got a crush on, she'll be thinking about how can she get you, not how do I get girls? Nah, them girls you like will be trying to get you because ain't but so many motherfuckers balling and in great shape. You know, it's like. How many of them are there, right? Elon Musk fat. Jeff Bezos kind of in shape now. You know what I'm saying? He got him a little Spanish chick. She like 60 though. But she done well. She done well for her. Anyway, I digress. These bitches will be trying to get you, man. You know what I'm saying? And when that happens, when you flip the tables, then you're gonna need Thot Repellent because there's gonna be too many of them. Your biggest problem is gonna be how do I keep the hoes away? And this is a real product. It's really coming out. Like we're really going to launch this. Neima, when's the launch date? Neima's in charge of production, all things production.
Probably, for sure by the end of the year. That's 100%. Might be sooner, but the goal is to have like pre-orders coming in.
All right, so we're going to have, listen. So here's the thing, guys. This product is we're crowdfunding this. This is by ballers for ballers. You're going to need this. Right? Once you get your money, muscle, and mindset right, you're going to need this. That's why it's money, muscle, and mindset. If you ain't got it, you know what I'm saying? So listen, all your super chats go towards development for this. We already did the research. This product is really coming out before the end of the year. All right. And I think some heroes have already contributed to Thot Repellent. We got a lot we want to cover today, but we got to acknowledge the heroes who contributed to Thot Repellent. Let's go.
Ketosis makes the whole drip, says King Keto. I've been using the Keto Mojo blood glucose and ketone meter and I'm averaging 0.7 for ketones.
Oh,
Do you
shit.
still track your ketone levels?
That's what's up. No, you definitely in ketosis, man. I don't track mine anymore. I tracked my ketone levels twice a day for a year. Like, I'm obsessed with tracking stuff, right? If you know anything about me, you know that's what I do. I track shit. So I tracked my blood ketone levels twice a day for the first year, and after that, I just didn't feel like I needed to anymore, because I feel like I kind of know what foods and the amount of foods that keep me in ketosis, and I know what it feels like. I'm used to it, so I don't have to do it anymore, right? But year one, I did. We on year, I don't know, it's year 8 or 9 right now, so I'm pretty accustomed to it. All right, listen, we're gonna answer all your super chats today, but yo, I got some shit I want to talk about. I want to get right into the teachings today. All right, I want to show you guys how to rewire your brain and stop being average and start being that high value man. And that's what we're gonna talk about in this segment we like to call Real Talk. All right. In this video, I want to break down how you can rewire your brain for success, right? A lot of times people have these habitual thoughts, or the way they think, it actually prevents them from accomplishing their goals, or maybe even going after, right? People all have self-limiting beliefs, doubts, fears, anxiety, trepidation that prevents them from going after their goals, or they go after it half-heartedly, right? And they out here half-stepping, right? And like Big Daddy Kane said, ain't no half-stepping, right? You come out here half-stepping, man, you only gonna get half the way, if that. All right. So we're gonna show you how to be out here big stepping when you rewire your brain. All right. And this is very important. So I'm gonna break out. When I start breaking out the drawing tools, it's just about to get real. All right. So there's a few steps you got to take. So to rewire that brain, get your motherfucking mind, get your mind right. All right. First step you got to take to rewire your brain for success is no negativity. No negativity. Right. And what I mean by that is okay. And that's not what you think it means, which means be positive. No, I'm not telling you to be positive. I'm telling you not to be negative. Right. So, for example, even with the littlest things. Oh, and I'm gonna give you an example. I told the story before, but it bears repeating. I was with my son. We were in Atlanta. We were going to Lenox. We were going to Lego Discovery World, and it's in this mall. And he was on my shoulders, riding on my neck, on my shoulders. That's his preferred method of travel. And we walking around the mall. I had the driver pull us up. I get a driver when I'm with my son, because he likes for me to be in the back seat with him. We'd be playing games, drawing shit, Carter boys living it up, man. Tell the white driver to shut up and drive, and then white driver drops us off. He gets on a big dog's neck. He like 9 feet tall now. And then we strutting through the mall, and I see Omega shop, watches. I like watches. I have a lot of watches, mostly APs and mostly APs, 1RM, a few Rolexes. I never bought an Omega before. I like them. So I said, let me see what the fuck Omega's talking about. Right. So I strut in there with the little fella. And now, mind you, he just turned 7. He don't know we rich. He think it's regular. He think like the shit we do is regular. Like, he don't know why other people be sitting in the back of the plane, or he don't know what a public school is, right? So, but he just thinks everything's regular. He has no concept of it, right? So I'm looking at this watch. I kind of liked. It was this Planet Ocean limited edition chronograph watch, and I asked. I'm looking at it, mind you, little fella's still on my neck, and And I'm looking at the watch, and I asked him, how much is this? And dude said, the Omega man said it was like 10K or something to that effect, and $10,000. And then my son was like, $10,000? That's too much money. And I don't know who taught him that nonsense, but I had to pick him over my neck. I said, hey, you listen to me. Never say anything's too much money. All right. We can have anything we want if we're willing to work hard enough to get it. Right. Never say nothing is too much. Right. Then I looked at the Omega man and said, yo, give me 2 of these watches so I can flex on this little nigga right quick, man. Let him know. You know what I'm saying? Nigga don't even know my watch is fucking 4 of those. The one I got on. You one of them little Omegas. Psh, light work. Anyway, but that's the lesson, and that's no negativity, right? That's part of it. That's too much, right? Some people say that's too much money, or I can't afford that, right? You got to say, man, I got to figure out how to afford that, right? I got to never say, man, I don't have enough money. You got to say, I need to figure out how to get more money, right? Because both things are true. It's not, you're not lying to yourself, right? Both things are true. But one is like you're waving the white flag of defeat, like a little bitch, like a hoe, right? The other one is like, let me get up and get after it. You feel me? It's very important. So even before I started filming this, I was like, man, I for a second, I almost thought, I really don't feel like doing this shit. But instead, I said, you know what? I need to get some more energy so I can make myself excited to film this shit for you motherfuckers. You know? nothing 300 milligrams of caffeine couldn't fix. See, soon as I saw that, soon as I started thinking right, I was like, okay, what are some options? How can I increase my level? Man, I get the Adderall, or and you know what? Let's go with it's kind of late for that. Let's go. Do I get the ephedra? It's kind of late. Pre-workout. That'll get me going. And now look, I'm making dope ass videos and you're loving it. You're about to hit the like button now. Watch. If you haven't, you should. Because this has been entertaining. Already it's been entertaining. We just getting started, and you loved it. You loved it. You loved it. All right. But you got to think that all the time, like if I don't get enough sleep, I don't say, oh, I'm tired. I'm like, yo, I got to figure out how to get more energy. You know what I'm saying? It's like if my girl's tripping, I'll be like, yo, man, I gotta figure out how to change her mood, her mental state. No, I'm just joking. Jokes. You feel me? This is very important. Like no negativity, right? Even if you're in pain, you say, man, I got to figure out how to get help. If instead of saying, oh, I'm sick, say, I got to figure out how to get healthy, right? We're looking. All these things are true. That's what I'm saying. We're not lying to ourselves, right? We're looking at it from a different perspective. I'm gonna make a whole nother video about this. It's called reframing, right? But just no negativity ever, right? So this means look for ways to make things happen instead of looking for ways things are bad. Or look for the good. We can either look for the good. It's very important, right? Even when my father killed himself, like I really thought about it like, okay, even though it was painful, I was like, this is the opportunity for me to show what I'm made of. You know what I'm saying? This is the opportunity to show how tough I am, right? Anybody can say they're tough, but now is the opportunity for me to do it, right? I can say anything, but now I can do it. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, I hope you guys are getting this, right? Both are true. It's just the way we look at it. It's different. You get what I'm saying? Like people come up to me and it's like, oh man, I can't get no engagement on my IG. I'm like, first of all, you looking at this shit wrong. You need to be saying, I need to figure out how to get more engagement on my IG. You get what I'm saying? Oh, my girl don't give head. It's no. You got to figure out how to get her to give you head. You feel me? It's a reframe, brother. It's a reframe, you know? Or I need to figure out how to get a girl who likes giving head, right? Maybe that's better, right? But we're still looking for options. You heard what I'm saying? Did you feel me? I hope you feel me, right? No negative. So always look for the good, but right? No. It's like, how do I'm trying to think how I want to put this. This is why motherfuckers don't do this shit live. Right. I see a lot. The next part is no negativity is pay attention to what you consume. Whatever. You take your own notes. Take your own notes. Make that shit legible at home. You know what you're getting into. This is free. You get what you pay for. All right. I got to look for ways to improve my handwriting. See what I did there? Your bitch ass would have said my handwriting sucks. Right. But check this out. You got to pay attention to what you consume. Right. So I don't listen to no negative news. I don't listen to no negative media. I don't let people start complaining around me. Right. Because I don't want that. I don't want that to be. I don't want those inputs going in my brain, because here's the thing. Whatever you focus on, you're going to feel. And whatever you feel, you remember. Pause. It's seriously, whatever you feel, you're going to remember. No diddy, right? Because if you feel it, pause, it's going to be more lodged, it's going to be lodged into your brain, right? If someone says they're going to hit you, you may forget that happened a year from now. But if somebody hits you, right, you're going to remember that. You're going to remember that, right? So whatever you focus on, you're going to feel, right? Like these nuts. No, I'm joking. All right. Whatever you focus on, you're going to feel. So that I don't watch TV where they're talking about negative shit, where they're talking about bad shit, where they're talking about some war going on somewhere. It's like, I have empathy for those people and sympathy for them. But unless I'm going to go over there and stop that shit, what's the use of me focusing on it? I know that may seem heartless, but honestly, unless I'm going to do something about it, which I'm not going to. Some shit happened in the Middle East. Fuck can I do from Miami? Nothing. Literally nothing. So I just don't focus on it. You know what I'm saying? Because I only focus on it if it's negative. I only focus on things that I can control or that affect me. Things that affect me directly or I can control. Because if I can't control it, then man, you gotta let the chips fall where they may, homie. I should go. I know with great power comes great responsibility. But I hate to break it to you, but you may be overestimating my abilities. I don't, as cool as I am, I don't think I can stop war in the Middle East. If I could, I would, I promise. Like, for example, I seen DJ Khaled, he posted something on his Instagram, and then like half the comments were, yo, why aren't you saying nothing about Palestine? How come you silent on Palestine? And I'm thinking, wait a minute. Do these people think that that's how international policy works? You think Benjamin Netanyahu is looking at DJ Khaled's Instagram to make policy decisions? Listen, guys, stop what you're doing. DJ Khaled posted the Palestine flag on his story. Maybe we should reconsider our strategy in the region. Right? I just don't think it works like that. But these people are mad. They're finding reasons to be mad. But that's what happens. Like, it's not those people's fault, right? What happens is they're focused on the negativity so much. That's what they feel, and it bleeds out into fucking everything. This motherfucker just posting he just in his car listening to his new song. Y'all want to talk about genocide, right? It's like, because you're focusing on it. Like, I promise you, DJ Khaled can't do shit about that. I promise you. If he could, he would. I believe that. I would. If I could stop the war, I'd stop it. But I know I can't. It's delusional, right? So, but I take this to a really insane degree. I don't listen to sad songs. I don't listen to. I don't watch the news if they're talking about some bullshit, right? I really control my inputs. I don't let people complain around me, right? I don't let people vent. You know, my girl, she started venting once, and I know she, and I was just like, whoa. She was telling me something. I was like, whoa, babe. What's something good that happened today, though? Right? I'm sure some good stuff happened today, right? You know, because I wanted just to focus, but focus on the good thing. And when she started focusing on the good things, like her actual mood changed, her tone changed, like everything changed. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, whatever you focus on, you're gonna feel. So we can't consume, you know, negativity, because we're gonna feel it. Pause. All right. Now the next thing you got to do. Now here's the thing. Over time, repeated, after you've done this for a long time, it will become your default response, right? So you'll automatically see things from you'll train yourself not to see things from a negative perspective, right? For example, now if I'm late for a flight or my flight's delayed, I'd be like, oh man, here's an opportunity for me to practice patience. You know, you feel me? If I got a super busy day, I think, oh man, here's an opportunity for me to practice my time management. Let's see how focused I can be today. If I'm going through a challenge, something challenging, I think, all right, man, damn, here's a chance for me to show what I'm made of, both to myself and to the people I'm leading, right? Show them why the king has the crown. Let me show these motherfuckers why I get paid the big bucks, and they'll remember this next time they ask for a raise, how I saved the day. Nima. And right? What we want to do is, man, we want to have a victor mindset. See what I did there? Right? We want to have a victor mindset. Instead of a victim mindset. That's what it is when you're all negative. Oh man, my head hurts. Yo, I gotta make sure I gotta get my head feeling better, man. Oh, I'm sick. I got the flu. I got cancer. No, I gotta figure. It's like, yo, man, I gotta figure out how to get healthy, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I ain't got no money, man. I'm broke. I gotta figure out how to get paid out here, man. I gotta exchange goods and services for currency out here. You feel me? You gotta have a motherfucking victor mindset. I should patent that. You know what? I'm gonna let y'all just have it. Just use it. Just let the world have it. Just know where you heard it first. All right. The next thing you got to do, right, is you have to change your behavior. Hold up. I gotta rewrite this again. Need more room. Your behavior. Here's why that's important. Oh, I'm sweating bullets trying to spell this, guys. I got to get better at spelling. I got to improve my spelling. All right. Oh, you behavior. All right. Hold up. All right. You got to change your behavior, right? So the homie Socrates, or one of them motherfuckers, said, We are what we repeatedly do, right? So it's one thing to say you're the man or say affirmations or all that shit, but it's difficult to bullshit yourself, to talk yourself into it. Anybody can talk, right? But when you start doing things, right? When you start doing things that are in congruence with the person you want to be or the goal you want to have, right? That changes the way you think. No, seriously. So what I want you, what I mean by change your behavior is I want you to, right? How would the person who already accomplished the goals you have, how do they behave, right? Let me write this for you. How would person who already accomplished your goal behave? Right? What kind of habits does this person have? Right? What does this person eat? Right? How does he act in the face of adversity? Right? How many hours of sleep does this motherfucker get? What time does he go to sleep? Is he organized? Right? How does he groom himself? Right? What kind of clothes does this motherfucker wear? Right? Like really just honestly act like that person. It's not a fake it till you make it, man. It's just you're not faking anything. You're just doing the things that person would do. And what do you think happens if you do the things that successful people do? Right? You probably get similar results. You know, right? So what we want to do is we want to do it not only in behavior, but okay. So one thing you want to do is you want to make, I've talked about this before, a list of great. Right. So make it like a list. Think about a version of yourself who already accomplished your goals and the things you want to accomplish in life. And then start thinking about all the things, all the attributes that person has. Right. How does he act in the face of adversity? What time does he wake up? What time does he go to sleep? Right. Does he lose his cool in the face of adversity? Right. Does he fucking play video games all night? Or does he go to bed early? Does he study? Is he out here getting drunk, getting high? Smoking dope, like whatever your guy. I don't know what, like maybe that's the kind of guy you want to be, right? But like whatever it is, I'm not making no judgment. You just got to think how does that person behave, and make that list extensive, and then start acting like him, right? Start acting in congruence with this person, right? Look at this list every day, and what's going to happen is this is going to change your association with pain and pleasure. So how do I put this? This is only one half of it, right? But Sigmund Freud, he's a coked up pervert, right? But he's also the father of modern psychology. And old Sigmund, he said that all people, every decision people make, they're either moving towards pleasure or they're moving away from pain. This fire represents pain. Right? They're either moving towards pleasure or away from pain. So what's going to happen is when you have the list of great, right, and you start behaving in accordance to the person you're supposed to be, right, you're going to start feeling good about yourself, and you'll start associating pleasure with the things that maybe you associated pain with before. Someone just asked if this live, man, my shit is, I never lied to y'all. 15 years. Nah, it's 7:54 Eastern Standard Time, homie. Catch up, Ronnie. Catch up, Rodney. God damn it, man. All right. I'm fucking with you, man. Nah, Rodney. This ain't live. I just knew at this exact time you was gonna ask that question. And I filmed this a year ago, knowing you was going to ask that question right now. That's how you know you should listen to what I'm saying today, man, because I can predict the motherfucking future, Rodney. Look at you. Your mind is blown right now. Now, right, I didn't record this. I recorded this in the future. I knew what happened in the past and I sent it back. This right now, this is a recording from 2050. And I sent it back in time because I already knew you did this shit. We got different technology. 20, 25 years from now. You niggas need to catch up. I came from I'm like a Terminator, but I'm a person and I'm not terminating. Think about that. You don't know what that means. You don't need to know what that means, man. All right. In about 25 years, you'll understand it. Rodney. Also, let me tell you something else is going to happen to you, Rodney, because I already know. Your son is going to be a senator. Yeah. You ain't know that, man. Better treat that boy right. Don't fuck this up, man. He going to... All right. Let me stop. All right. List of great, right? So what's going to happen is the things that maybe are difficult for you to accomplish now, right? Oh man, how do I get up early? How do I stay motivated? Blah, blah, blah. There's a reason because you associate pain with those things, the things you're supposed to do now. But once you start associating those things with your list, with the behaviors that the ideal version of you would accomplish, right? You'll start associating pleasure with those things. And then the beauty of this is when you rewire your brain like this, you change your associations with pain and pleasure. What happens is you don't really need discipline as much. Like I rarely use, people think I'm so disciplined. One of my boys, my boy Jeremy, he said that, man, Brandon's one of the most disciplined people I know. And I took it as a compliment, but I was like, man, I was thinking, nigga, I love this shit, right? I fucking love this shit. It's not discipline to me, because I changed my association with pain and pleasure, right? And that's the only way I know that do that is the list of great and the list of hate. I don't want to talk about it here. I have a whole nother video on it. Maybe Nima will put it in the description. Maybe he won't. Sometimes he'd be forgetting, flame him up in the comments if he forgets. All right. Right now, here's where it might get a little weird. It might seem like I'm being metaphysical and shit, but this is some real shit. All right, you got the list of great. When I say how would he behave, but how would you feel? Right? Sorry. Let me start that over. Man. Feel, because remember, what you feel shit, you remember it. Pause. Feel if you already accomplished it. Now, those of you who are religious will be able to comprehend this a lot easier than your atheist counterparts, right? But even if you're an atheist, just hear me out. How would you feel if you already accomplished the goals? Like, what would it feel like, right? So not only just your behaviors, but how would you actually feel? Can you fill yourself up with those feelings? Man, I already got it. Like, what would that be like? Right? There's something about that. If you can practice that feeling, then your energy is going to be different. You get what I'm saying? There's a different energy between the person who's like, oh man, I can't get no money, right? Versus the person's like, yo, I got to figure out how to get more money. Versus the next level is the person who feels like, man, I already know I'm gonna get this money. You know what I'm saying? I already know what's up, man. I'm just gonna go. I'm going after get it. It's like it's the difference between there's levels of belief, and here's why I say religious people would understand it more. I know young candlesticks over there, man. Just hold me there. Just wait a second. There's levels of belief, right? So if you believe you'll accomplish the goal, you'll go after more. Right. And if you believe it, you'll feel it. But that'll give you what? Motivation. Right. If you can actually feel like, man, it's just a matter of time for it. It's already on the horizon. Then you'll feel different. Right. If you can practice the feeling now, and you may think it's hard to do that. And this is why religious shit comes in. Right. So I told the story before. But it's an old ass story. Mad people told it before. It's from your Bibles, right? So this dude, he had leprosy, right? And he ran up on Jesus. Jesus was chilling with the homies, the whole squad, and this dude with leprosy, he came up and was like, hey, yo, Jesus. Yo, man, I need you to heal me, bruh. Need you to heal me, dog. I'm out here lepering. I'm out here lepping, man. Doctors say they can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Need you to heal me, dog. And Jesus was like, all right, man. Yeah, like there's different versions of the story in different books in the Bible, but there's one version where the dude, Jesus asks him, he says, yo, fam, you believe I can do this? And the leper was like, come on, dog, you the Messiah, man. I know you can, man. I know you got this. You got this, player. Come on. Give me some of that. Give me some of that magic. And then Jesus is like, all right. You healed, right? And then the leper was like, oh, damn. All right, Jesus, I feel good now. That's what's up, player. You a good dude, man. I don't care what they say about you, man. You know what I'm saying? You a good dude, man. And then then Jesus said, hey, look here, player. Don't tell nobody I did this. Right. And he's like, hey, man, you got it. And the dude strutted off, man. He ain't lepping no more. Right. There's a reason he told him not to tell nobody. I'll tell you why later. Right. But then the disciples, if you're from Chicago, these are not the gangster disciples. These are like Jesus's homies. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's a different crew. Right. I just don't want to get that misconstrued. Right. So the Jesus disciples, they was like, oh, that was cold. Jesus. Yo, how you do that? He was like, that, man, y'all can do that. And it was like, yo, man, but you know, you that dude, man. We just regular guys. And y'all can do that right now. Y'all can go out and go heal some people. And they was like, bet. And they went out trying to heal people. And then they came back to the homie Jesus. And it was like, yo, Jesus, we ain't heal nothing, fam. We ain't heal nothing. And he said, yeah, man, it's because you don't believe. You don't believe. And then he said, if you had the faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. Right? That's all Jesus was talking about. Belief. All right. That's not going to mean nothing to our atheist counterparts. But here's the thing. When you have the belief, why wouldn't you feel it if you believed it? You get what I'm saying? Like, if you really believed it, then you would feel it now. You get what I'm saying? Now think about that. If you really believed it, you would be happy and excited and grateful for it right now. Wouldn't you? If you really believed it. Like if you really believed it. Like if I wrote you a check for $1 million and it was in the mail, you saw me put it in the mail, you had the tracking number, you knew it was coming, right? It just wasn't with you yet. You'd be excited about it now, right? That's how you got to be about your goals and your vision. You got to feel it now. And let me tell you why. Because if you feel it now, do you think if you knew it would happen, do you think it would be difficult for you to be motivated to go after it? Would you wake up late? Would you sleep in if you knew it was going to happen? Right? All you had to do was just go get it. Like if you knew If you knew you would accomplish your goals, would you still procrastinate? All you had to do was go get it, right? You knew you can do. All you had to do was just do the things, right? I think procrastination. I think lack of motivation. I think all of that shit is really a lack of belief. You get what I'm saying? Like motherfuckers don't really believe that they can do it. You get what I'm saying? It's very important. So you got to start acting like you believe it. Because the motherfucker who has it believes it because he has it, right? And there's levels of belief. There's levels of belief, right? So I think there's, I call them 4 levels. I think there's different levels. There's 4 levels. So it's this bitch ass nigga who thinks he said he thinks I can't. These motherfuckers become haters, fucking bitch ass niggas, really. And they have an energy about them. You've seen people that failure energy. It permeates them in everything they do, right? Do you want to do business with this? These things become self-fulfilling prophecies because of your energy. You're going to need other people to accomplish your goals. And if you walk around with this kind of energy, who's going to want to fucking help you? Who's going to want to buy from you with that kind of energy? Nobody, nigga. Right? Then you got this guy. This is level 2. Oh, he's not deformed. Let me do his head again. Different, right? This, man, I'm having a hard time drawing circles today. Listen, I got to work on my circle drawing. All right. This guy thinks he's still a bitch, but he a little bit better. He's got hope, right? He's like, I hope. And that's a better energy than I can't, right? Because the guys I can't, he's not even gonna try. He out here looking for pity, right? Right? Yo, mind you, this guy don't get no pussy. All right, he don't get money or pussy, straight up. You know what I'm saying? This guy, he might get some pity pussy every once in a while, man. Something like that, right? But it's better energy, but it ain't good energy, right? It doesn't instill confidence in somebody who's trying to hire you for something, or someone who's trying to hire you as an employee or hire your business for something, right? It doesn't inspire confidence, right? That I hope energy is not good. Now, then you get some of these motherfuckers who are on some. This is where it changes. This is where the energy that's like, oh. This energy is hold up. I will. Like he's going to do it no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And this is better. Like these people can accomplish a lot. And sometimes you need this energy. There's a time and place for I will. Right? Oh, you already seem like who would you bet on? Just looking at these 3 motherfuckers, who would you bet on? Right? But it's like there's a little bit of aggression here, right? I don't know if you really believed. I don't know if you have to be that aggressive about it. Like if you really believe, right? I don't have to fucking tie my fucking shoes like a boss. I'm gonna tie the shit out these shoes. Fuck that. Then listen to a David Goggins video and hype myself up, listening to some fucking DMX and then tie my shoe. Because why? Because I know. Because I know. It's like a calm confidence. Right? And that's the most powerful energy to have, right? To cultivate that. Like this is where it changes here. Like this can work, and there's a time and a place for that. And if you don't believe, maybe you need that. Right? If you're not 100% confident, I'd rather you be fucking 2 guns up, kicking the door. I will, motherfucker. I'm gonna do that, right? But if you know, you have to do that. You get what I'm saying? You feel me? Like if you know, do you have to do that? If I go, I don't have to fucking hype myself up to turn on the faucet. You get what I'm saying? Like I don't have to hype myself up to go to take a piss or nothing like that. Shit that I know I can do. I don't have to hype myself up. It's calm confidence, right? And if you can start to cultivate that this is the most powerful state, and it's the most powerful energy. And when it's rare. These people are rare. If you are around a motherfucker like this, you know it. You know you're around a motherfucker like this because you feel like you can do anything just being in his presence. This is that James Bond shit, right? This is when James Bond is talking to girls. He's like, "Oh man, we gotta go get some bitches." James Bond is not getting drunk to go get some. We gotta go get some bitches. Nah, James Bond just pull up in the suit. Bond, James Bond. You know what I'm saying? Calm than a motherfucker. He's cracking jokes while he's fighting villains. You know, like that's the best energy to have. If you can have that, if you can cultivate this energy, right? But this you have. This is levels of belief or levels of doubt, right? This person has the most doubt. This person has no doubt. You get what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like it's, but or levels of belief. You gotta, but if you knew it was coming, you would be like this, right? So all that gun ho listening to shit, motivational videos, getting all hyped up, it's cool. That'll get you really far, but it takes a lot of energy, and that's fine. But if you really knew, you wouldn't have to do that. But if you got to be here, you got to be here. Like if you still have some doubt, then I want you to fucking overcome that doubt with that I will energy. It's not a bad thing. Sometimes you might have to go up the scale. You might have to start with hope to even try and get some confidence. And if you get a little bit of confidence, you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna do this shit. Ah! Ah! You might have to do that, right? But then once you've done it, then you can calm down. Like this might take some expertise, you know. But if you can have that energy, it's like people will react to you differently, right? Yo, candlestick, man, just give me a second, man. Let me, because I'm on a roll. All right. Another way to cultivate that energy, though, is to find examples. Find examples, right? So this can be like people who did it, right? You got to, if you can make some friends who did it, or be around some people, or even if you just got to fucking read books by them, listen to it, because what's going to happen is going to seem real, right? And if you can't get around the people, then you want to get books, or any kind of just content. I'll just say content. Right. I have one magazine subscription. What is it? Rob Report. You know what that is? That's the fucking baller magazine, man, where they got motherfucking yachts and planes. That's the only way you see a fucking advertisement for a plane you can buy, right? Rob Report, right? It was one of the few magazines where like Rolex or motherfucking Richard Mille may have an advertisement in it, right? Because it's like for high net worth motherfuckers, right? That's the only shit. That's the only magazine I got, because I want to. The content that I consume, I want to reframe my brain, right, to only think about it, because and the reason that's important is because there's a part of your brain called the there's a part of your brain called the reticular activation system, right, and it's responsible for what you notice. So, for example, first time you get a new car, or one of your homies gets a new car, you start seeing that car everywhere. You're not an X-Man. You didn't attract that shit. You're not magic, bro. The car was there the whole time, right? But what happened was you never noticed it because it wasn't active in your brain, right? But if you start consuming content about a certain thing, you'll see more examples of it. And that's what's so nefarious about consuming negative content in general, right? Because if you're thinking about war or people getting fucking taken advantage of or thinking about bad shit all the time, you're consuming that content, you're going to see more of it, right? It's there the whole time, just like that car, right? And whatever you focus on, you're going to feel. But if you consuming content about balling, people coming up, content about good things that happen, you're going to see more of that, and that's going to change your perspective. You get what I'm saying? And the mind can make a hell out of heaven or a heaven out of hell, right? So you want to get content of like people who did what you want to do, but you don't want to look at it as, don't get jealous like a fucking hoe, right? Right? Only this guy gets jealous, right? When you see somebody getting jealous or hating, he's really here, and that's how it's manifesting itself. So if you're watching one of my videos, maybe this video, and there's somebody hating in the comment talking shit, right? They don't know me, right? They don't know shit about me, but they're here, right? But a lot of times the way people behave, it's a self-soothing mechanism. You get what I'm saying? Like if you hurt your girl's feelings, and being angry at you is a step up the emotional scale, right? It feels better than being sad and hurt. You get what I'm saying? Like because she's self-soothing herself by yelling at you or screaming at you. Does that make sense? Right. So if somebody sees me fucking flexing on them like super hard, man, like look at me, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm fucking ripped, rich, charismatic, hilarious, right? And if you's a bitch, right, and you look at me, it might fuck you up, and you might, if you got this kind of energy, like you can never do it, right? Then you'll have to hate. It's just like when hang out with your girl and watch some hot girl come on TV. She'll be like, oh man, they start hating. She got her titty done. She got her body done. She ain't real. She fucked this guy. Right? She'll immediately start talking shit about this bitch. Right. It's a self-soothing mechanism. You know, that's where it comes from. So I got empathy for those people. The thing is, I don't even think I'm better than you motherfuckers. You just don't know that you can be as good as me. And that's why I make these videos. Right, but a motherfucker with this attitude, he's looking at it like, oh man, I could do that too. You know what I'm saying? Like when I look at people doing better than me, making more money than me, I seek those out. I seek out people who are better than me. Some people say comparison is the thief of joy. That's only if you a bitch, right? But if you got this I know attitude, right? Then when I see people doing better than me, I'm like, it's real. I can do it. Oh, if this motherfucker can do it, I can do it. He's just like me. We're flesh and bone. There's no difference. You know what I'm saying? He might have some advantages I don't have, right? But I can do it. And I look for even more evidence of people who've done it. I can do it. Like, I don't know if I would have even tried to get 1 million YouTube subscribers if I hadn't met my boy Elliot Holst back in the day. When I saw it, I wasn't hating on him. I was inspired. I was like, fuck, he did it. It can be done. Fuck it, let's go. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't hate. It was actually reverence, and I appreciated it. Like I appreciated that he was doing better than me. Like if I have friends who are doing better than me in anything, I cheer them on. I encourage them. I want them to do better than me, right? Because for 2 reasons. I want my friends to do better than me. Let me tell you why. 2 reasons. One, it lets me know it's real, and it shows me what's possible. Also, they're going to encounter a bunch of fucking problems that they're going to have to figure out. And by the time I encounter them, they'll tell me they'll have already figured out how to get through it. Right. I don't know if that makes sense. Like they out here beta testing shit for me. You know what I'm saying? And it makes my path a lot smoother. The pioneers get the fucking arrows. So I'm like trying to help my homies as much as possible. I want them to fucking do good, because then again, like shit, then I could just do what he did. And whatever problem. Hey man, remember when you had that problem, man? What did you do? Right? I had like this recently, man. My boy Jeremy, I can't tell you what we were doing, right? What he did. But he was working on something. It was a project, and he got real successful for it. He ran into a bunch of fucking issues along the way, and it cost him like $100,000. But because he told me everything that he ran into and how to avoid it, the shit cost me like 10 grand, to fix. Right? You get what I'm saying? Anyway, this is very important. Find examples, right? And then the last thing you need to do is like I want you to study it. So whatever your goals are, like study it. Like become kind of obsessive about it. Right? Well, become not obsessive in a bad way, but like, yeah, let's call it become obsessive. I saying obsessive for lack of a better word, because this guy's probably not obsessive. This guy's obsessive, right? But there's a way where it doesn't have that the negative connotation. I don't know what word it is, so I'm going to use obsessive as for lack of a better. Okay, maybe you would do this. Fall in love with it. Yeah, that's better. There's a negative. Right, fall in love with these things you're trying to accomplish. Like really study it to the point where you fall in love with it. Right. When I was said obsessive, like that's this guy. He's obsessive, and it's okay. Maybe you need to be. Maybe that's where you need to be. Right. But this guy, man, he loves this shit, man. James Bond just loves saving world and fucking bitches. Right. That's what he do, man. We ain't never seen James Bond get a paycheck. He ain't doing it for the money, man. James Bond love this shit. Right. you gotta have that attitude. Like you got to approach it like that, man. Right? Fall in love with it. And if you really, you can't do this until you've gotten a certain level of proficiency at it, right? But if you really want to learn something, teach it. And you don't have to teach it publicly. You can teach it to like your homies or your little brother or something, right? Or your kids, right? Whatever it is. Because when you really learn something, when you start teaching it, I can't explain it, but a lot of times I feel like me as a coach or a teacher, sometimes I feel like I get more benefit than the students, even though their lives change. But it goes, you know, when you teach something, it's different than when you learn something. It becomes, you have a deeper understanding of it. It like becomes a part of you, right? It's in you, not on you. Pause, right? And I think these are the keys to rewiring your brain for success. The 4 keys of rewinding your brain for success. If you can do these things and put these into practice, then there's nothing you can't accomplish outside of the supernatural, right? You know, but within reason, there's nothing you can't accomplish if someone else has done it. You know, I really believe that, man. You know, with enough belief, right? I kind of think that the only reason people don't accomplish their goals is because they don't believe enough. Because if they believe enough, they would have did what was required. But they don't go all out because they don't really believe. You got to be able to increase your belief, right? I got another video on some habits that will help you become successful. Go check that video out now, right? Oh, all right. Fuck. All right. Cool. Yo, listen. We got Greg's been super patient for us, man. We got to bring in the homie Young Candlestick for the market recap. Yo, big dog, Young Candlestick, what's poppin', man?
Hey, good to see you, Brandon. Brandon, that was a fantastic presentation. Your food pyramid, your pyramid is way better than the food pyramid.
Thank you, man. You want to know something? You know something? I came up with this shit 5 minutes before we started the show.
You know, geniuses.
What is real? The information is like in me. Like I read all these books. It's like fucking 20 years of studying. So I just had to. Yeah. Anyway,
you don't need as much prep to present time. That ratio.
Nah, man. That's for motherfuckers who don't really know this shit, man. You ask Einstein to teach multiplication, man. He ain't got to fucking prepare for a month, you know. All right.
Exactly. I mean, it's really valuable stuff. It applies to trading, investing, fitness. Like I'm taking tons of notes. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's real shit though. You know, especially the feeling like it. You know, if you really believe it, you would have the feeling.
I completely agree. And even like when you surround yourself with like good traders, your trading tends to like pick up that mindset. You can't have that losing mindset. You gotta truly believe. You have to have faith and you have to put in the work.
That's all Jesus was talking about, man. Believe and shit. Yo, what's up with the market though?
Yeah. So this is the S&P 500. Today it's up 0.84%. Last Thursday, I was on the Victory Talk podcast. We're looking at the fear and greed index, and it was showing neutral. And actually, what was going on is I was just basically saying, hey, the SPY probably doesn't sell off too much, but it probably doesn't go up too much either. We're pretty much at the exact same price. So, it's pretty interesting. There are like pockets of volatility on the smaller time frames, but
it'd be wild during the days, man.
Oh yeah, and if you're a futures trader, you can definitely capitalize off of that volatility. And it's wild out here. So what's next for the SPY? Based off this trajectory, we did do a bullish Harami formation. That's where you have a big, thick red candlestick, and you have the Harami, the little baby inside. Once we started to break up above that level, the market's been kind of squeezing upwards because the market could have fallen off a cliff, but it held. It held support. Now we're coming up into an area of resistance. We failed from this area. Now this whole area is going to be a bit of supply, but there's no sign of that supply just yet. So, nothing too crazy going on in the overall SPY. I think there are some opportunities in individual stocks, which I'll tell you guys about in a bit. Last time we also had Alex on, right? And the Forex trader, right? And I actually gave you guys a trade, USD/JPY. This is the US dollar compared to the yen. I said, you can report this. There's that breakdown.
Yeah, you said it was going to break down.
Yeah, it's down 3%. If you don't like to trade currency pairs, you could do FXY, and this is the Japanese yen ETF. Kind of like a little bit of a breakout. So if you followed that trade, you made some money last week. We also talked about gold, GLD. We talked about GC. I texted you this morning, Brandon. I was like, hey, there's a good futures setup. GC long over the all-time highs. And, we were able to make some good loot, futures trading. It was a good P&L day.
That's what I'm talking about.
We'll talk a little bit more about that some other time, but basically look for gold to potentially continue the uptrend. If you're into the wheel, Brandon has a video on that. GDX is one of my favorite things to wheel. It's a basket. It's an ETF of gold miners. If you want something a little bit cheaper, there's gold, GOLD. So you can sell cash secured puts near support, sell covered calls near resistance.
It's a big gap up today.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's all from, just inflation data, market participants. Gold's in a bull market. It's making higher highs and higher lows. Gold can tend to outperform if there's global uncertainty. If you think war is going to escalate, gold can do pretty well. So, it's just, it has a lot of things going for it. We have what's called an accelerating uptrend, and that's where we have higher lows. And then we have steeper higher lows. And now we're starting to get even steeper higher lows. So it's kind of like a power uptrend if I were to put moving averages on. And those can cause some squeezes. My price target on gold is nothing crazy. It's like 245. So nothing too crazy. It's at 236.
Now y'all remember he said that 245, man.
245. If gold's at 245, give me a bit of time. Ideally it probably happens by the end of October, but I would give it up until like mid to late 2025, which is like it's a lot of time.
Give yourself a lot of room. Listen, man, before I die, gold's gonna hit four.
Yeah, exactly.
Give it enough time so you can't be wrong. No, I feel you.
Come back to ideally by the end of October, though. Probably sooner, though. It could happen tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
Another trade idea that I gave you guys was coin short underneath 200. This is kind of like a bear flag, a drop, bear flag, a drop. It wasn't the prettiest trade. It wasn't the prettiest setup, but it did end up, breaking down. If coin can rally just a little bit more, maybe to this 180 area, I am looking at coin put options to get some bearish exposure in the market. I think Bitcoin is just fine. I think it'll probably be higher in 1 to 3 years from now. But Coinbase, for now, can just, Coinbase is my short idea for now.
I feel that.
I told the Legion just yesterday, I was saying, hey, I like Google for an investment over here. As you guys know, Google was my largest holding and still is. I just never sold because I'm an investor. And I actually did pick up Google shares at about 149.
Okay.
It depends on the analyst that you're talking to, but Google's fair value is about $230 a share. So anything underneath that is a discounted price. It's going through some uncertainty with the antitrust right now, but that's just short-term stuff. If you have a longer-term vision, I do think that Google can visit that $230 a share. Definitely, there's a very high likelihood it does by the end of 2026, even if there is a recession. Okay. One last thing to look out for to help determine the market direction is the semiconductors. This is the SMH ETF. We have lower highs and we have higher lows. We have a pennant going on. So we got high, low, lower high, higher low, potential lower high. We might get towards the apex of the pennant, and whichever way it breaks out is very likely going to dictate where the market goes. So I kind of have like a neutral rating on the market right now, but semiconductors can be a leading indicator for what might happen.
Okay.
If you want like a pairs trade maybe for that, let AMD get overbought, maybe short it there, and then you could maybe buy NVIDIA. So long NVIDIA, short AMD. That's a potential pairs trade. But those are the main things I wanted to discuss. If you're interested in investing or haven't started and want to build wealth, maybe have kids or something like that, I think a dollar cost average approach really is some of the easiest ways to build wealth.
Oh yeah, if you don't want to trade or you don't want to look at the market, you just want to fucking why do you like VU instead of
Yeah, great question.
SPY?
So VU is the exact same thing as SPY, the S&P 500. SPY is more of like a trading ETF. It's really good for options. VU has a lower expense ratio. So when they do the rebalancing, basically it just costs you less to hold it, but it also pays a dividend. So it basically, what I like to do is I just like to throw in like $50 a week into VU. I like to put money in like SCHD, SCHH. This is the real estate ETF. It's just a basket of real estate stocks. And just keep dollar cost averaging. You'll get it. You might get some shares at higher prices. You'll get it at some lower prices. But if you put on recurring investments, it just builds wealth automatically. You don't even have to think about it. And you'd be surprised after just even a couple of months, you might have a couple grand saved up, and that's a nest egg. So that's what I would recommend to somebody who hasn't really gotten started investing. Of course, there are risks with investing. Markets can crash, recessions happen. But either way, it's a great place to build wealth, the stock market.
Awesome. All right, if y'all want to learn more about trading and investing, make sure you join the Victory unit. We got a free Discord. That's not the only thing we talk about in there, but we definitely be talking about getting money in there. And we're doing a free a live training on the 25th.
2 weeks from now. 2 weeks
from now. Yeah, where we're going to talk about like investing and some other stuff. But I got a few individual stocks.
Hell yeah, bring them over.
The one is a TTD trade.
This looks bullish. This looks good. This looks like it's about to break out. Even tomorrow.
You know what I'm saying?
Fridays, they tend to pin the options, as in like the market makers tend to lower volatility on Fridays most of the time. Sometimes they won't, but basically, TTD looks good for like a little breakout setup. Notice you have you have a high wave doji candle. You got more of a bullish pin bar. You got a strong bull candle on Wednesday and a big ass bull candle today. Buyers might be a little bit exhausted, but sellers are absolutely screwed if this stock breaks out. So I'd give a neutral / bullish rating on this.
Yeah. I don't know if I would buy right now because it's like at the all-time highs.
Yeah, it's
at the same time, maybe, right?
You just need the SPY to help it out. So if SPY's having a red day, TTD is probably just going to pull back. But if SPY's just like fisting upwards, TTD, it's a simple long trade. Another idea would be PYPL, PayPal. Obviously, we discussed Google, but PayPal just broke out, came back, kind of retested this former breakout area. I posted a PayPal long over 69.69. So it's up a little bit, but PayPal could potentially squeeze maybe up to like 71 or 72. That's just a little short-term trade though.
Tesla.
This one's really interesting. I've been wheeling TSLL. And actually last time I was on the Victory Talk podcast, I said we could reject right here.
Yeah.
But we should be in a channel. and we have maintained that channel over this week. So
Come on, man.
I say we probably stay within the channel. Tesla could reject tomorrow. We are coming towards, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. This is what's called a breakdown candle. So labeled as a breakdown candle. The highs of the breakdown candle usually offer some resistance or supply. So if you see intraday, it's starting to reject, that can be a potential short setup. If you can get above and hold above the breakdown candle high, that can be a buy setup. Okay.
All right.
So breakdown candles, good lesson there.
Yo, Roku
went off today, didn't it?
Bro. I don't know what's going on with a lot of volume too.
It's a decent amount of volume. It's definitely a lot of activity today. Roku, this is kind of like one of those consolidations, gap above, you trap a bunch of sellers, close near the high, gap up. Now, this could be what's called an island top, where it's gap up, gap up, gap up, and it's kind of like in no man's land. If you actually gap down, that's a sell signal, and it can probably go lower. Roku's more of like a day trading stock for me. I don't like to swing it. I would say just stay away. I can't say it's bullish or bearish. I think I do think Roku's a shit stock though. Just me.
Yeah. Personally. All right. I just want to know what's going on. Yo, Chipotle, man.
CMG. Let's check it out. I haven't checked this one in a while. Okay. We're just kind of maintaining. I think last time I said it was just neutral. We're still just neutral. There's a little breakout over 56.76, but even then, there's just a lot of muck. It's not a clean
it's all chart. Around it. That's all around the 200.
Okay. Let's throw this up real quick. Simple moving average. Click add selected. Let's make this length 200. That's the period that it's covering. I'll make it green. I like to make it green, and I'll make it.
I always make my 200 red.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How I roll.
Yeah, it's flirting around there. So the edge is to the buyer. So if you need just like a simple way to determine whether a stock is in a bull market or a bear market or is bullish or bearish, if it's above the 200-day, you kind of got to give the buyers the upper hand, and you got to assume that trends persist. So yeah, my rating would just be neutral with a slight bullish edge. The problem is Chipotle has a lot of resistance from over here, so it might not like break up really well. It might just kind of like flop around.
Okay,
that's my take.
All right, cool, man. Does Greg have anybody asking? All right, Greg, listen, if y'all want to know more about this shit, man, learn how to get this money in these markets. We got to hit up the Victory Unit Discord, man. Greg is in there every day. Greg and Romulus, and let's get it, y'all.
You've got a designated professional at technical analysis in the Discord.
Yeah, I hit him up all the time. All right, let's get it. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it.
Let's get back to it.
I think we have some super duper chats.
Yes. Let me put this one up. There was a question here. Okay. Rodney is actually.
Yo, Rodney, what up, player? Listen, I already know, man. I know all about you, man. I am from the year 2050. All right. I knew he was going to ask this question, but I'm going to let Nima read it anyway.
I'm married, 44, with 2 boys, 16 and 12.
2 boys. This motherfucker can't miss. Rodney can't miss. You know what I'm saying?
I have a good job, and so does my wife.
Nice.
I fucked away my 20s. What can I do at this point? Should I just be looking to set up my kids to be millionaires?
That's some. So you're 44, right? You're 2 years older than me. All right. So what I would do. Well, luckily, like them kids are kind of older. You know what I'm saying? So then they're not like babies where they need like a bunch of attention. Like the 16-year-old probably don't even want to hang out with you that much. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean in no disrespectful way, but you know how boys are when they get, man, it depends. He said he has got a good job. And
also his wife.
Yeah. Well, it's like it just depends on how soon you want to be a millionaire, and then how risky you want to get, The simplest way would just if you just didn't want to take no risk, you can do it in like let's say he wanted to be a millionaire in 10 years. Right? I don't know how much money he has right now, but right? So we pull up the compound interest calculator. Oh, we pull up the old trusty compound interest calculator. All right, let's see, man. Let's say he wants to. All right, let's say he puts in. I don't know how much disposable income you have, right? But let's say he starts $5,000 a month. Let's say he started with $5,000. He said he had a good job, so I'm gonna boom, 10 years. Will this do it? The average return from the stock market or real estate is 10%. We calculate this shit. Almost, right? You're almost, right? So listen, I think we can change it. Maybe we can change one of the variables and get you right there. Right, yo, you can be a millionaire and fucking your boy will be 22. Your youngest will be 22. Yeah, you can have $1 million in 10 years, man. Just if you and your wife can like put your brains together and be like, yo, this is what we need to do. I don't know, you know, the kids are grown, right? Or not, they're not grown. But you know, tell them they got to pay for their own college, right? You know what I'm saying? Get some loans or something. And you can put that away for 10 years. Like that's the easiest way that's the way to do it with no risk. Like there's very little risk. If you want to take more risk, then you got to like start a business or like start like a hustle, and that can be faster. Like a business is always going to be more lucrative, but it's just way more risky. But this, man, you know, in 10 years, man, 10 years, you can have $1 million, you know, if you want it, you know, 5,500 a month. You just set that in your budget. Maybe you gotta do something on the weekends or something, like I don't know, or maybe you don't, right? If you got the income right now, but you can do that in 10 years, man, and that's like reasonable. Like five, I don't know if that's a lot of money or not, right? We just met, but that's the game plan for 10 years. That's what I would do if you don't want to start a business or nothing right now, which can be difficult, you know, at you know, older with kids and shit. You know. All right, what else we got?
Next, we got a super sticker from Afosa.
Shout out to Afosa. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Next one. Michael is asking, what do you recommend to stop watching pornography?
I'm not one of those guys who's telling you to stop watching pornography. Like, honestly. So, you know, I hear a lot of guys saying you should stop watching pornography. And they say that they'll give you all this research about how porn is killing your brain. And maybe, right? But, you know, if it's a problem, then you got to figure out how to stop it. And I can go over some ways to stop any addiction. But, you know, I'll break out some porn from every now and then. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. It's all good, baby. For me, but it's not like a problem, right? If you are asking strangers online how you can stop watching pornography, maybe it is a problem for you, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I never even thought about stopping, you know, because it's not a problem. You get what I'm saying? So if it's a problem, just how you. But, you know, and I'm not trying to say it's good or bad. It's just, you know, it's one of those things where it's just like, I made millions of dollars, accomplished all my life goals, and I'm still out here crushing life. And I'll be watching some porn, man. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't been destructive for me, but if it's destructive for you, then here's how you stop any vice that you have, right? Well, first you got to know if it's a problem, right? So it's a lot of times I don't know if this is true, but I feel like a lot of these guys on the internet, they're telling you to stop doing shit or telling you to do shit, but it's not the thing that's going to improve your life. For example, let's say if you got a goal. Let's say you got a goal. Oh man. All right. Let's say you got a goal. This trophy represents the goal. This trophy I'm about to draw. Right. This represents the goal. Now, to accomplish this goal, there's some actions you have to take, right? You have to take some actions, right? Right. There's things you're gonna have to do to accomplish those goals, right? And I just feel like things are only a problem if they prevent you from taking these actions, right? For example, let's say the goal was to lose 10 pounds. All right, you want to lose 10 pounds, right? What are the actions? Well, you got to be in a caloric deficit, right? So if you are in a 500 calorie or minus 500 caloric deficit, if you do that every day for a week, right, you'll burn 3,500 calories. A pound of fat equals 3,500 calories. So if you burn 3,500 calories, you'll burn a pound of fat. So, you know what I'm saying? Every day for 10 weeks, then you'll accomplish the goal, right? And it wouldn't matter how much porn you watched. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can watch, if you do this, I'm sorry, if you're in a 500 calorie deficit every day for 10 weeks, you will lose 10 pounds if you are a mammal, right? It's going to work for all mammals, young people, adults, chipmunks, dolphins, you know, all mammals it'll work for, right? And it wouldn't matter how much fucking porn you watched. You get what I'm saying? It wouldn't matter if you made your bed or not. It wouldn't matter where your horoscope said, right? It wouldn't matter. Like, you would accomplish the goal, right? So I really want to think, is this thing stopping you from accomplishing your goal or not? Or is it just some shit that people are saying? I can't tell you, right? You got to tell us. Maybe some of you guys have like some problems with porn that I'm not privy to, that I haven't experienced. So I don't want to diminish, you know, any issues you guys may be having with it, right? But if it's stopping you from getting this caloric deficit or whatever your goal is, right? Because this is just an example. Your goal can be in. If it's stopping you from doing the things to help you accomplish your goals, taking action to help you accomplish goals, then yeah, you need to quit doing those things. If it's not, then fuck it. You know, focus on the things that help you accomplish your goals. You get what I'm saying? Like, really focus on those and only those. So if it is stopping you from accomplishing your goals, how do you stop yourself from doing it? Well, I talked about this earlier in the show, but it bears repeating. The reason anyone does anything is because they're moving towards perceived pleasure or away from perceived pain. But it's perceived pleasure or perceived pain, right? There's reality, and then there's objective reality, and then there's subjective reality, right? Objective reality is like, you know, what's happening in the world. Subjective reality is how you experience reality, right? So these are perceived pain, right? So in the time when you're all horny and you want to watch the porn or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You about to get it popping, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you got to do, you lighting candles, man. Take yourself on a date, buy yourself some roses. I don't know what it is. This seems to be a big problem for these guys, you know. Whatever it is, when you're doing that because you're thinking about the perceived pleasure, right? Or your brain is wired that, right? We got to change the association, right? So really, the only way I know to change the association is the list of hate and the list of great, right? So you got to write down all the reasons why these things are bad for you, right? Whatever it is you're trying to abstain from, right? Write down all the reasons these things are bad for you. Okay. All right. And then write down all the benefits that you will receive from abstaining from these things. Right. And if you do that, what happens over repeated exposure to the stimuli, you'll change your association with pain and pleasure, and then you'll start to associate negativity with this. It's like a form of hypnosis, right? Over time, right? You'll start to associate like bad things with that, right? And then you won't need as much discipline, right? The truth is, man, when you're trying to abstain to anything, discipline is cool, but we want to take discipline out of the equation, because I don't care who you are, discipline alone is going to fail you sometimes. If you're fucking David Goggins, motherfucking, I don't care if you're David Goggins or fucking David Beckham, right? Discipline is going to fail you sometimes, right? So we want to take discipline out of the equation as much as possible and only use it when we want discipline to be the last resort. You know what I'm saying? So the one way you do that is to start changing your association with pain and pleasure. That's going to take time and repeated exposure, right? The other thing you need to do is increase the friction. Pause, right? So anytime you want to abstain from something, you need to increase the friction, right? So, for example, like, yo, bitches really fuck with your boy, right? And when I got a girlfriend, I always said, man, I don't want to cheat on her, but I want to make it even impossible, right? You know what I'm saying? So it would be so much difficult. So first thing I did when my girl moved in is I, without her asking, I gave her the location on my phone, right? So now let's just say I wanted to cheat, man. You know how now I gotta fucking figure out some genius way to do that shit, and it'd be too much friction for me to even go after it. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's what I did like day one, and you know how do I put it? It's like I'm not tempted to do it, but in the event that, you know, fucking Kim Kardashian or somebody DMs me and says, yo, I'm in your city, pull up. Like then it's like, now there's friction. And it's like, it'd be easier for me to say no because of the friction, right? Because I praise friction or whatever. Another reason, one of my favorite things to eat is ice cream. Right? Back in the day, I haven't had ice cream in a long time, but when I wanted to quit doing it, there was no ice cream in the house, right? Now I can still go get some ice cream, right? But there's more friction than just walking in my refrigerator. So you got to figure with the pornography, you got to figure out a way to increase the friction between you and the porn, right? And one thing you could do is like internet blockers, or you can install some shit. You know, there's apps you can install on your phone or on your computer that would they'll actually block those sites. You can get around it, but now there's friction involved. Does that make sense? Right? So you want to increase the friction in the things that you don't want to do. And the things that you do want to do. Now, and the third thing, you have to replace this habit with something else. Or you got to find something else to replace this habit. It's difficult to just quit a habit, right? Because now you're fucking bored. Right, the shit you obviously love, you can't do it no more. So now there's like a loss almost, right? There's like a loss, you know, for real, and it's difficult. It can be difficult dealing with that loss. Plus, dealing with that loss makes it difficult. But if you replace it with something, so you got to find things, almost like have a list of shit to do. When you feel that urge for porn, like have a list of go-to shit, right? You know, go for a run, take a cold plunge, you know, have sex with a woman. That might work. Right? Just some other things to replace it. Right. And have a go-to. And is when you get those urges and that urge gets strong and say, no, you know, let me funnel this energy somewhere else, you know. Decrease the friction. We're to doing the other things, right? So if you're going to replace it with cold plunge, get a cold plunge in your crib, right? So you could just fucking, I want to jag off and just rip your shit off and jump in the cold plunge or something, right? Decrease the friction and things you want to do. For example, this studio, it's set up all the time. Like the lights in here, the cameras and shit. We don't have to set up every time we want to film or do the podcast. I wanted no friction. So I dedicated a room in my house to doing this fucking podcast. Right. and the cameras never leave. Like, even if we film outside of this, we got different cameras for that. We never move these lights. It's always set up and ready to go, because I want it so I can just sit down and get to work. So there's literally no friction between me and recording these videos and doing the podcast. That's by design, right? And that's why I put out a video on YouTube every day, because there's no friction for me. You get what I'm saying? So the things you replace it with, you want to decrease the friction, and you want to increase the friction by the thing and the things you want to abstain from, right? And then the final thing you can do is the final thing you can do to abstain from this is fully abstain from it. So you got to be like, it can't be trying to quit or doing it sometimes or doing it every once in a while. It's got to be it's got to be like you don't do it at all, right? Like for example, like when I stopped drinking, I didn't like, oh, I only drink sometimes, or I just quit drinking, and it was easier. Like, absence is actually easier than doing things in moderation. You know what I'm saying? Like, abstinence, I'm sorry, is actually easier than doing things in moderation. Yeah, abstinence is easier than doing things in moderation. Because when you do things sometimes, or you treat yourself with this, now you like teasing yourself a little bit, and you'll have the cravings to do it. When you have a cheat day, or you engage in this thing that you're trying to abstain from, it's not like you did the thing once. I only did it once this month. No. You quit once this month, right? You were trying to stop doing it, and you gave up once this month, and you had to restart. And restarting is the hardest part. But if you just say, I don't do this no more, right? You draw a line in the sand, and it becomes easier. Like, something switches in your brain. You know, people who, there's somebody I know, I'm leaving their name out of it, but they wanted to drink less. And I just looked and I was like, all right, man, good luck. I mean, I don't want to crush nobody's dream, but they keep going back into drinking a lot. They'll drink less for a little bit. Then they say, okay, I deserve this. I could drink this one. The next thing you know, they fucking drunk again. And it's like, yeah, man, I mean, you're going to have to quit. You're going to have to quit drinking if you want to, because you got a problem, right? This is only for things you got a problem with. I'm not telling you not to drink. Do whatever you fuck you want, right? You got a problem, homie. You can't handle it. So don't do it at all. Like, I don't eat candies or sweets or nothing, because I'm gonna eat that shit. I don't half step. I don't do nothing halfway. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't do it at all. Right? Sometimes being extremist is easier than doing things moderately, right? Because you're teasing yourself every time you give yourself one of these little things, right? And you weaken your discipline. And especially if you've done the first step by associating pain with doing a thing and pleasure with doing with not doing a thing, when you do the thing, you're going to feel bad about yourself, right? And it's like, yeah, I know somebody who has a problem with gambling, and like, he hates himself a little bit when he gambles, man, because he knows he's got a problem. Like, he needs to just quit, but he can't. He can't, because he's doing it. He's trying to do it moderately. That shit don't work. You got to fucking cut the cord, homie. You know what I'm saying? He says these IG models keep tempting me. Hey, man, you preaching to the choir, homie. But like, it's not a problem for me, right? If it's a problem for you, then you got to take different kind of action, man. You got to like unfollow these chicks, or at least you can hide their story. Like, you can take action. You know what I'm saying? You can take action. Hey, listen, I have a whole video about that where I go into more depth about, quitting bad habits and starting new ones. You should check that shit out, All right. And then what did the dudes, my man put $100. He said, what?
He says, razor blade implants in the palm help me to stop choking the chicken. Pornography.
Yeah.
And chopping up.
Yeah. No,
penis really helped me to stop cheating. Discipline is not needed.
Yeah. You make some good points, Mr. Casper. And that might be that might be a viable option for some people, man. If we, if you can, maybe for some of the guys here, for that other fellow, if you can drop the doctor who did that crazy surgery for you, you know what I'm saying? I think some of these guys will appreciate that, man. Thanks, Jason. You know what I'm saying? And thanks for your contribution.
Luca is asking, 6 months after watching Brandon's baller mindset course and start working 90 hours a week, I'm right now comfortably. Next one is balling.
Come on, man. Comfortable is a level of balling. That's what I'm saying, man. The baller mindset course is free. It's in the Discord. So you can join the Discord and get that for free. And it's like, yo, if you follow the steps, man, like it's all laid out. You know what I'm saying? It's 100% free. You know what else is free? I got a free ebook called The 10 Commandments of Online Training. It's the first link in the description. And it really just breaks down how to start your online training business, right? And if it's something you're interested in trying to get some clients for online training, I teach that, and I'm probably the best in the world at teaching it. Not probably. I'm the best. There's no one better. But you can get that book for free. The link is in the description. And listen, man, this has been another episode of Victory Talk Podcast. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, y'all. Peace.